friends, welcome to this practical course on STAADPro software. In the previous lecture we prepared this Excel sheet in order to carry out the preliminary column sizing. Now let's assign these column sizes in our STAAD model. First of all, select this table like this and then click on the data tab. Now click on the filter option. So let's filter out the column sizes. For all the columns, the width of the column is kept as 1 feet 3 inches, which is approximately 375 mm. Now click on this filter for the depth of the column. So we have 5 different sizes of columns, that is 375 mm by 375 mm. Then we have 375 mm by 450 mm, 375 by 525, 375 by 600, and the last one is 375 by 675 mm. All the depth of the columns are varying with a difference of 75 mm, which is approximately 3 inches. And in case if any of your column fails, then try to increase the size of that column by just 3 inches, that is 75 mm. Now select only 375 mm size from the list and click on OK. So we have 3 columns with size of 375 mm by 375 mm. So let's assign these column sizes to the columns 1st, 19th and the 20th column. Open the STAAD model and click on the properties tab. First of all, delete the previously assigned sizes for the columns. Now go to select and select beams parallel to Y and then click on view selected objects only. Now activate the top view. So we need to assign 375 mm by 375 mm to 1st, 19th and 20th column. So this is my first column, this is my 19th and 20th column. Make sure that you have applied the beam renumbering command and the node renumbering command before proceeding in this lecture. So with these columns selected, click on the define option and click on rectangle. Provide a size of 0.375 meters by 0.375 meters and click on the assign button and then click on close. Now the next size that we have here is 375 by 450 mm. So select 450 from the list and click on OK. So we have 4 columns with size of 375 by 450, which is 5, 6, 21 and 26. So activate the top view. These are my 5th and 6th column. Then we have 21st column and this is my 26th column. Now click on define, click on rectangle and give the size as 0.450 by 0.375 meters. Click on assign and click on close. The next size that we have provided here is 375 by 525 mm. So select 525 from the list and click on OK. So we have these columns, that is 2, 3, 7, 12. Activate the top view. We have 2, 3 and we have 7th column and this is my 12th column, this is my 13th column. Then we have 22, 23, 24 and 25. So these are my 4 columns. So for these columns we will assign a size of 0.525 by 0.375. Click on the assign option and click on close. The next size that we have here is 375 by 600 and 375 by 675. So let me first select 375 by 675 from the list and click on OK. We have only 2 columns, that is 14th and 17th column with a size of 375 by 675 mm. Activate the top view. Select 14th and 17th column by pressing and holding the control key, go to define, click on rectangle and give the size as 0.675 by 0.375, click on assign and click on close. And the last one that is remaining here is 375 by 600 mm for the remaining columns. So in order to select the remaining columns which are not having any property, you can go to select option and then click on the missing property option. Again click on the missing properties. So these are my columns which are not having any properties. For these columns we are assigning a size of 0.375 meters by 0.6 meters. So go to define, click on rectangle, give the larger dimension as 0.6 and the smaller dimension is 0.375, click on assign and then click on close. So now we have defined the properties for all the columns. So let's again run the analysis. So still we have 38 warnings left. Initially we were having around 147 warnings, which are now reduced to 38 warnings. Click on the view output file button and then click on done. So still my columns are failing. So close the output file. Let me first remove the labels. Now double click on the column to check whether it has failed or not. So this column has failed. Let me check the upper column. This column has passed. However, the reinforcement value is still more than 2%, which is slightly uneconomical. Let me check other columns as well. This column has failed. This column has also failed. So mostly all the bottom columns have been failed. So what we will do is we will increase the size of these bottom two columns with one more higher size. So first of all, click on properties option. So for these three columns we have assigned a size of 0.375 by 0.375 meters. So what we will do is, first of all, click on view selected objects only and then click on the side view. Since these bottom two columns are carrying the heaviest load and the bottom columns are failing, so we will assign a higher size for these two bottom columns. So the size of these columns is 0.375 by 0.375, so we will assign a higher size for only these two bottom columns. So click on define and assign a size higher than that, so that is 0.450 by 0.375. that is, we will increase the size by 75 mm, that is 0.45 by 0.375. Click on assign and click on close. Now click on display whole structure view option. Now select beams parallel to Y and click on view selected objects only. Now the next column that we had earlier defined was 0.45 by 0.375 meters. So click on view selected objects only and click on the side view. Select only bottom columns like this. So let's assign a higher size for these two bottom columns. Click on define, click on rectangle. These columns are already having a size of 0.45 by 0.375, so we'll increase the depth of the column to 75 mm, so that comes out to be 0.525 by 0.375. Click on assign and then click on close. Click on display whole structure view, select beams parallel to Y and click on view selected objects only. The next column that we had earlier defined was 0.525 by 0.375 meters. Click on view selected objects only activate the side view, select all these bottom columns like this. Now let's assign higher size for these. Click on define, increase the depth to 75 mm, so that comes out to be 0.6 by 0.375 meters. Click on assign and then click on close. Click on display whole structure view, select beams parallel to Y and click on view selected objects only. Now the next size we had earlier defined was 0.675 by 0.375. Click on view select objects only and activate the side view. Select only two bottom columns like this. We'll assign a higher size for these columns as well. So click on define and click on rectangle. Increase the depth by 75 mm. So already it is 0.675 by 0.375. So we'll keep as 0.750 by 0.375. Click on assign and click on close. Click on display whole structure view, select beams parallel to Y and then click on view selected objects only. The last column that we had defined earlier was 0.6 by 0.375. So select that property and click on view selected objects only. Activate the side view and select the two bottom columns like this. Increase the size by 75 mm. So it will be, instead of 0.6 by 0.375, it will be 0.675 by 0.375. Click on assign and click on close. Click on display whole structure view and select beams parallel to Y and click on view selected objects only. So let me give you a quick recap of what we have done. We have assigned 0.375 by 0.375 for these three columns, and the bottom two columns for all these three have been assigned a higher size, that is 0.45 by 0.375. Similarly, we have these columns with a size of 0.525 by 0.375, and we have assigned a higher size for the bottom two columns, and similarly we have other columns as well. So let's now again run the analysis. Now still there are 19 warnings. Click on the view output file option and click on done. Now double click on the warning. So we have column number 1010, which is having this warning. Similarly, we have column 1055, 1138, and we have 1165. So first of all, note down all these column numbers. After noting down these numbers, go to select and click on the list option. Now enter those numbers which are having this warning. So I have already noted those numbers, so that are 1010, 1055, 1138, then we have 1165, 1185, 1186, 1187, 1195, 1197, 1212, 1221, then we have 1231, and the last one is 1241. Click on select listed entities. Let me remove the labels first. So these are the columns which are failing in the reinforcement values. So we need to increase the size of these columns. So if there are only bottom columns, then we will also select the top columns as well, since we will increase the size of the two columns. So, select all these bottom two columns as well which are failing. Now this column is third, fourth and fifth column is failing, so we will select the bottom two columns as well for these and for this column as well. Now click on view selected objects only. Now let's check the properties of all these columns. So mostly we have R13 and R14. So first of all R13, so these are the columns which are having the properties as R13, which is 0.6 by 0.375 meters. So we'll increase these columns to a higher size. So click on define and click on rectangle. Increase the size by 75 mm, so it will be 0.675 by 0.375 meters. Click on assign and click on close. Now coming to the remaining columns, so we have these two columns are already having a size of 0.75 by 0.38, so we will define a higher size for these as well. So click on define and increase the size by 75, so it will be 0.825 by 0.375. click on assign and click on close. Now let's talk about the remaining columns, which are these columns. So these columns are having a size of 0.45 by 0.375. So let's increase the size of these columns to a higher value. So select all these columns which are remaining and click on define and click on the rectangle option. So we will increase one size. So these are already having a size of 0.45 by 0.375. as you can see on the side it is written. So we will increase it to one size, that is 0.525 by 0.375. This column is already having that size, so let me deselect this column first. So increase the size of these two columns by 0.525 by 0.375. click on assign and click on close. Increase the size of this column by 75 mm, so which is 0.6 by 0.375 and click on assign and click on close. Now click on the display hole structure view, select beams parallel to Y and click on view selected objects only. Now run the analysis. So still we have 9 warnings left with us. Click on the view output file option and click on done. So we have 4 columns which are still failing. So column number 1010, then the next column that we have here is 1055, next column here is 1212, and then we have 1241. Now close the output file, go to select and select beams by list and enter those numbers. So it is 1010, 1055, 1212 and 1241. Click on select listed entities. Now let me first remove the labels. So these are the 4 columns which are still failing. So select the upper column as well, since we will increase the size of the 2 columns, and click on view selected objects only. Go to properties. So these 3 columns are having a size R16, which is 0.68 by 0.375. So let's increase by 75. So it will be now 0.750 by 0.375. Click on assign and click on close. This column is having a size of 0.6 by 0.375. So let's increase it by 75, so it will become 0.675 by 0.375. Click on assign and click on close. Now click on display whole structure view, select beams parallel to Y and click on view select objects only. Remove the labels by right clicking anywhere, click on labels, select none option. Now let's again run the analysis. Click on the view output file option and click on done. So we have 3 more columns, that is 1010, then we have 1212 and 1241. So again go to list and enter those numbers, that is 1010, 1212 and 1241. Click on select listed entities. Also select the top columns as well. Click on view selected objects only. Now go to properties. So these are having a size of R20, that is 0.75 by 0.375. So let's edit the property and increase it to 75. So instead of 0.750, now it will be 0.825. Click on the change button and click on yes. Now click on display whole structure view, select beams parallel to Y and click on view selected objects only. Let's again run the analysis. Click on view output file button and click on done. So now we have removed all the warnings for the reinforcement percentage for columns. So guys, this is how we will step by step increase the size of the columns and remove those warnings. So guys, that's all for this video. You can like, share and subscribe to my channel so don't miss any future update for this practical course. See you in the next video.